Hey, everybody. This is Chad Barker, your Sudoku professor, and I want to welcome you to our our webinar here. We have this is a sneak peek into the Sudoku Professors Insiders Club, and what we do here. One of the things that we provide as a member benefit, and let's jump in here, and I want to talk about this for those new folks. We have opened this particular webinar up to everybody so that everybody can get a taste of the club. So if you first time that you've been here, let's talk about what these webinars can be. So we do these events privately for the club members. On occasion, just depending on what we have to offer. Sometimes we answer members' questions. That's what goes into actually probably most of the webinars in some way, shape, or form are answering members' questions. We also do challenge puzzles. Well, I will give you as a member some puzzles that I challenge you to solve, some unique puzzles, some things that have some twists to them, and then you will get to solve those, and then we get to work on them together. You get to attempt to solve them. Many people are able to do that, and for those that aren't, we get to solve them together on the webinar. We also do, for the club members, also anything new they get, any new techniques that we get, club members get early access to those techniques, the lesson videos and stuff like that. And so we'll use the webinar format to either to release those lessons or to have questions and answers about those so that we can dive deep and work out any kinks with any of those lessons and help smooth that out. So, and then we do a lot more in these webinars. So just to give you a taste of it. And today, though, what we're doing is we are answering 4 club members' questions. Now, if you got the email, the links are in the email to the club, to these puzzles. And I suppose that we can post these links. I'm not sure if they're in the description or not. If not, we will post the links to the puzzle so that you can download them. We'll post those in the chat so that you can click on those as we go along here. All right. So, but first we get into that, I want to mention as the Sudoku Players Dream Giveaway Sweepstakes that we're running. So this is open to everybody. Can get into this, club members, non-club members. It is a huge giveaway with over $16,000 in prizes. If you haven't signed up, you need to go over to giveaway.sudokuprofessor.com and sign up there. It's very easy, takes 30 seconds, and you can have your chance to win lifetime access to the Insiders Club, as well as lifetime access to all of our lessons. Grand prize winner gets, and first place winners gets a stack of these special Sudoku books that we get from Nikolai in Japan. In addition, grand prize winners and first place winners also get private one-on-one coaching sessions with me, so that if you're having struggling with Sudoku in any way, shape, or form, we can sit down and we can talk about that. So head on over to giveaway.sudokuprofessor.com and check that out. Sign up and then spread the word. Send it to your friends. Let your friends know. This is a great way for them to, you know that Sudoku is great for your mental acuity and the fun and the life that you have. So spread the word with that and tell your friends about this. And you can do that with the giveaway. And when you do, it increases your chances of winning as well. So head on over to giveaway.sudokuprofessor.com and check that out. All you got to do is type that into your web browser, or just click the link in many of the emails that you receive from us. Okay, so what's on tap for today? So first of all, we're going to talk, Lawrence Harold sent in a puzzle, and we're going to need to help him. It turns out it's a doctorate level puzzle. We're going to need to help him with that. Step through those things that we need to do. Now, for those of you who are kind of maybe not quite at the doctorate level, don't worry, we got something for you too. Catherine Grant, she is, her puzzle is not at the doctorate level, but she is overlooking a key piece of information. So if you we'll look in that, and maybe if you downloaded the stuck point or you worked the puzzle yourself beforehand, you might have already spotted that. So I will ask you when we get there, hey, do you see what needs to happen next? Okay. Next, we're going to, Mark Luria has sent in, and Mark, if I mispronounce your last name, I apologize. But you just need a refresher on basically, how to approach a puzzle and how to get it to completion, how to think about things. And so we're going to do that. He sent in a particular puzzle he was having trouble with. It comes straight from our Sudoku Professor Puzzle Library, our exclusive puzzle library. So you may have noticed that if you download the puzzle, what set it comes from. And it is also, it turns out it's a bachelor's level puzzle, but we're going to go through that from beginning to end so that we can see how to approach that puzzle. And Ted Bringle sent in a puzzle as well. And it's a newspaper puzzle, and it needs a master's level technique to solve it. So I can already see that we have people commenting. So I want to hear from you. You can comment if you're here. You can, I see Kathy, Marianne, and Ray. Good morning to all of you. I'm glad you joined. And I know let's see. Marianne, you're Pennsylvania. Kathy, you're from Arizona. Ray, you're from Las Vegas. And so two of you are out. It's much earlier there than it is here, but I guess it's not too early. Anyway, 11 a.m. Eastern time here. But I want you to use that to comment and ask questions as we go along. Participate. I want to hear from you. And so make use of it and let me know that you're there. Okay. So let's get started with Lawrence's puzzle. Now, if you would pull that, if you have access to it, you can pull that up. I think, let me get over there. Lawrence Harold's puzzle. And we're going to pull that up right here. Okay. Now, if you need, what I gave you are links, and let's see here. I don't know if we can post those links in the comment section or not, but if the links to the puzzle, there's one link to the puzzle from the beginning, which you could start it from there. To save time and to kind of keep things moving along here, I actually am going to start with what we call the stuck point. So this is the point where he is stuck. Essentially what we've done, what I call the stuck point, if you're not familiar with that, it's the point in the puzzle with the, oh yeah, that's right. The links are in the description of the video. If you want to click on that, you can get it either on Facebook or on YouTube. Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't know everything. So anyway, so the stuck point is the point where you've applied the lower level techniques and you really don't know what, you're kind of at a point where you need to make a decision about what to do next. And that means evaluating the puzzle for essentially higher level techniques to see what you can do, looking around for the patterns and stuff like that. So that's where we're at with this puzzle. We'll do the same thing with Catherine's puzzle and with Ted's puzzle. Again, Mark's puzzle, we're going to just start from the beginning and go through that one from start to finish. So at this point, again, we have with Lawrence's puzzle, we have done 1 through 9s. We've done some think outside the box, and that's allowed us to get to this point. Looking around, we don't see anything that's like obvious. We're looking for master's prep level techniques. Like for example, 3 corners would be a nice one. We're looking at master's level techniques, potential deadlock, cloak 4 corners, and things like that. And I came to the conclusion that the only thing that we could do at that level was a coloring. And I think, although it wasn't clear by Lawrence, you didn't make this clear what you had tried. You had some pencil marks. This is almost where the pencil marks, but you had some pencil marks on there, and I wasn't exactly sure if you had made it to this point or if you had made it past this point or not. But you had some pencil marks that sort of indicated that you had. So maybe you had done this, but I'm going to go right now and I'm going to talk about, we have a level 2 coloring or either or that is available to us right here. And we find that, go to the red. I find that by noticing the pattern of the 8s in these boxes here, okay, where we pencil mark the 8s. So I'm starting off with that, our typical trapezoid pattern that we're seeing, and I'm looking at where else 8 can go, and I see that 8, the only other place as I try to color or do the either or thing from this point from each of these points, I see that the only other place along row that 8 can go along row 1 is here, right? It's eliminated from all other spaces. And then along row 9, I also see the same thing, right? So it can only go here, okay? And if we were to actually do our coloring, which we don't, if you watch our lessons, we don't do coloring around here. No, we don't actually do colors because it's hard. You know, I mean, it's hard to erase and all this other stuff. So we come up with a different way of doing this. And that is, we do this sort of A-B thing here. And that gives us, what it tells us is that, that the 8s are going to go either in the A's, all of the A's, or they're going to go in all of the B's, right? And what we find out is we have this, I guess this is probably, this is actually, no, I'm sorry. I did the coloring wrong there. This would be an A, right? And this is level 2, so it tells us that 8 can go nowhere else in column 7, okay? And what that specifically does is it eliminates 8 from this space here and from this space here, okay? That's the only, that we get a couple of those eliminations. Now, this is actually critical for the next step. It's a small little bit of information, and really the only thing that we gain here is, and I am going to actually, is in this space, the row 7, column 7. That's the only thing we gain right there. So let me go ahead and erase all of these red marks that I've got on here, and back all that stuff out. And what we discover if we were to do think outside the box or something like that, or just basically look at this space, because this is where was one space that we found that we've eliminated one number from that space, which was 8. And if we count through, we're going to realize that this space can only be, actually, let me go to my blue pen. It is 5 or 9. That's the only two things that can go there. Okay. Not a lot, but it is critical for the next step. Now, I did not find it. Did anybody else find another sort of technique at this point? I don't know if anybody had the time to look or whatever. We did get those puzzles out to you just about an hour or less before showtime here. So so I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna let you answer that. If anybody did find something, put it in the comments. I'm gonna answer Radio Nut 44's question about do I know an iPad app that would let you solve? I do not know. I actually, it is entirely on our long-term goals to create an iPhone, iPad, whatever, mobile app to do this. It is something that's completely missing out there, because either you're stuck with no pencil marking, right, or some sort of hybrid thing, or you're doing brute force and it's a pain in the butt. So I do not know of anything that does it. My pencil marking is quite unique, and that's the reason why there's nothing out there that does that. But it is on our goals to do, to come up with something that will allow us to do that. I actually have some ideas about how to make that work and how to make it easy for your interaction to do exactly that. In the meantime, we stick with pencil and paper is what we try to do. So to get that, and I know that some of you want to. I guess I'm stuck in the last century here with the pencil and paper, whereas y'all are moving on. All right. Now. Okay, so the question, did you call the technique you showed a trapezoid technique? Actually, I said it's a trapezoid pattern that we found in those spaces that I marked with the red, where the 8s, see where the 8s are pencil marked in these spaces here. That actually, if you connect the dots, it's a trapezoid pattern, and that is a key pattern that we're looking for when we do what I call either or. but what most people call coloring. I also actually use coloring because it's a method of trying to determine where numbers go in the spaces. So one of our top contributors, Brian Garman, and I'm not sure if he is on today or not, but he actually identified that the times that you can use the coloring pattern, the coloring technique, starts when you find a pattern similar to this. That it's a telltale sign that you might be able to do something with it. Of course, it's not always the case, but it's certainly something to look at. Thanks. Good question. Okay. So nobody has mentioned that they have found anything else on this thing, and I don't blame it. We are at the doctorate level. So at the doctorate level, we are. Let's back up a little bit. I have then looked and tried to exhaust all the other techniques that I know of. Okay, up to this point. Okay, and I have. I'm looking at. Again, 3 corners, 4 corners, cloak 4 corners, potential deadlock, linked doubles, and there's other techniques that don't even apply because we're not even that far along on the puzzle, like devil's dead end. That doesn't even apply at this point. And I'm also considering possibly a swordfish or things like that. But and what I realized, and I have a process that I go through that I teach you in all these lessons, but anyway, that many of you know, is reducing which numbers to even consider. And the only numbers that could possibly work for, say, a cloak 4 corners or a swordfish would be 2, 3, and 9, and the patterns don't show up here. Okay, for that. So then my next go-to technique is a chain. Okay, so a chain is what we're doing is we're looking for these spaces that can only be 2 possibilities, these bi-value cells, and we're trying to see if we can connect them, and by connect them, and then by connecting them in a logical pattern or a logical sequence, we can actually make an elimination, and that's actually the key here. And so one of the things, we have these bi-value cells here. The number, this is a triple double is what it is, and the 3, 3, 4, 6 triple double here. We've got the 3, 4 here, and those are probably not going to work very well. We have 4, 9 over here, and a couple of 1, 5, 2, 5, another 4, 9, 5, 9, 3, 5, and so on like that. And so there's a 6, 9 right here. All of these cells can only be 2 spaces. All these spaces can only be 2 possibilities, and so that's what we're focused on. And what caught my attention was the fact that there was a lot of spaces here that in this vicinity that had 5 or 9 as one of the possibilities. And I started to think about starting here with, especially since this is the number, and this is another thing that Brian Garman, our top contributor, has pointed out, is that wherever you've done your last elimination, maybe that's the place you need to look for your next technique that you're going to apply, because it could very well be involved there. So I'm looking at this space here, and I see, okay, we got a 5, 9 or 9, 5 there. That means that space can only be those 2 numbers. And then we have this. We can link these 2 by the 5, and I'll show you what I mean by that. And what else do we need? We go to we go up here. We can link these. We can link this space up here with the one in row 9 by the 3, and then we can link over to this space right here, the 6, 7. And then down to the 7, 9 down here. So let's figure out what we got. So we are starting down here, and we're going to follow that path. So I'm going to write down my notes here. So basically what we have is we have this space has a 9 in it, and this space has a 9 in it, and that's the beginning and ending of our chain. So we have 9, 5, and then 5, 3. That's this space down here, and then the 3, 6. That's this space here, and we go over to the 6, 7. That's this space right here, and then down here to the 7, 9. So this is a chain of length 5. Basically, what we're saying, what this chain tells us, because each of these internal numbers match the way we've written it here, and we begin and end with the 9. You see that? So what that tells us, and again, without going through the entire chains lesson, which is extensive, is that if either 9 is going to be here in row 7, column 7, or 9 is going to wind up here in row 9, column 4. 9 is going to be in one of those two spaces. Okay. Therefore, we can eliminate 9 from any space that can see those two spaces. And specifically, we get this elimination right here. So if 9 is either here or here, 9 can't go in this space right here. So we now know, let me go through and go back to blue, and then let's erase our little dots here. And this space can't be 9, so it has to be 4. And from this point, it actually is quite easy. We can also determine, there's another thing that we can determine, is that, no, that still is 9. We also know that 9 cannot go in this space right here, row 9, column 7. But it can still go in, at this point, as far as we know, it can still go in like all 4 of these spaces. Okay, so just out of, okay, so you're asking, just like here, why is the 4, 6 in the middle grid, middle row at the left, not in the chain? 4, 6. So that would be, you're talking about this one right here. Why is this 4, 6 not part of the chain? Okay. It's because, okay, when we're trying to connect, so if you follow the chain, this space can be a 6. This is the 6, 7. So when we connect out of here, we're connecting on a 7. We're not connecting on a 6. So we don't have actually. I mean, we could connect these two in a chain. I'm not sure how long the chain would be, but we could connect them in a chain. But on the 6, in other words, if this space is a 6, this space becomes a 7, right? Or if this space is a 6, this space becomes a 4. That's how the chain works. The reason we don't include this one is because we're trying to connect from here, out of here, on a 7 and not a 6. I hope that answers. Part of your understanding of that question would, I'm not sure if you're, well, I guess you do like. Okay, cool. All right. Thanks. All right. Thanks for the question. Great question. All right. So we're actually able to fill in the 4, which does indeed solve this. So this 4 goes here, and then that pushes the 6 to here and the 3 to here. So we solve that triple double. And let's see here if we can. I'm not sure that I'm going to take this all the way to the end, because let's see if there's anything special that we need to know about. So let's see here. We now know that 3, based on that information, let's think about 4. 4 can go in one of these 3 spaces now, right? 4 can, let's see, and 3 only goes here or here. We know that because of the 3. The 6 and 6 can only go here. Let's see here or here now in the box. And let me go ahead and erase this, and we'll call this here 6, 7. So now what are we going to do? We have the 6 here and 6 here. Just trying to see if there's anything else that's pretty obvious. And I am 4, 4, 4. That's okay. You got 1, and then where can 2 go? 2 can't be. 2 goes in these 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8 and 9. So actually, there's another thing here, is that 9 also, one of the things I forgot now to note, I took the easiest thing right here, where 9 is eliminated from this space, because this was 4, 9 by value cell right here. So 9 can't go there. But also 9 is eliminated from this space right here in row 7, column 4. So I think if we look at this space right here, 1, it can be 1, it can't be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the box, 7 in the row, 8 in the box. So, and it can't be 9 because of the chain. So this actually has to be a 1 here. And then that's forcing the, let's see, this has to be a 5, and this has to be a 2 here, right? That makes this a 9. Pulling that down a little bit. 6 here. And I think that we're going to pretty much get, I think it gets a lot easier from this point forward here. Wouldn't you say? And 5, let's see, it can only go here and here. And let me think. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 6. That's 6. This can't be a 6. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 can go in these 3, 6, 7, and then 8. 8 can't be here or here, so 8 goes only here or here. This is still 5 is one of the possibilities. Anybody else see anything that I could do right away? I know 9 can only go here and here. And maybe, here we go. 1 here, 3 here. I forgot, I got to follow through with the 1 over here. Okay. And then 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. 9 goes in these 3. So 9 is the only other thing here or here. Sorry, my scribbles are getting a little bit scribbly. Let's see. And I'm just checking to see if anybody's commenting. 3 here. What else did we do? We did the 1, 1, 1, 3. There we go. 6. And I think, you know, the rest is fairly academic from this point, honestly. It's just a matter of finding. There's really nothing special from this point forward. So I don't know. Do you want me to continue to solve the rest of it, or do you want me to move on to the next one? Because, I mean, if you want me to sit here and do the rest of this, flesh it all the way out, because I really think that it's fairly simple, again, from this point forward. 6 here. There's a 6 here. This makes this a 7. Yeah. And this will be a 2, 9, right? Yeah, this is a 2, 9. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to come down here and we're going to fix this and we'll go from there. This is 7. This is 9. This is 7. This is 8. This is 3. This is 5. And so on and so forth. And, you know, so I think you get the idea. Okay. Thanks, Timothy. Let's see, row 9, column 3. 5 at row 9, column 3. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Right here, because I filled in the 5 there. And the 9 goes here. And again, we just keep going. The 8 here. And 1 here. 1, 2. And then, sorry for the mess. I'm just moving along here. It's, again, it's not like this is really hard at this point. 3, this is 3, 4, 5, no, 1, no, I did the 1 wrong, 1 wrong. Back up. When did I do the 1? There we go. Okay. 1 was already in there. So 2 goes here, here. Sorry about that. Let me erase some of that. Now, since I messed up, okay, now I've forced my own hand in this whole thing. All right, so let's get, all right, all that's right. 1 and then 2 here or here. 3 and then 4, right? 5, and then 6. Yep. Okay, that looks good. 3, 4 there. Let's go back up here. And this was the 2, 9. Go ahead and do that. Pencil mark that. And 1, 2, 3 can't be there or there. So this actually becomes a 3, 9, right? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. So this is a 4, 8 here, here, and here. That makes this a 2, which makes this a 2, and this is a 9. Okay, all right. I think we've done enough. Cool, Marianne. Good job. Good job. All right. So, Lawrence, that's what you need. It's a chain, and I think that when you start, chains come into play when you start to see a smattering of things like those buy value sells, and there's not enough information. For example, a cloak four corners, and if you're even trying to do a swordfish, things are too spread out. There's too many numbers going, too many possibilities. That's where the chain really is a winner of a technique. But again, it's not something that you typically do on easier puzzles. It's kind of a complex technique. You don't really want to you don't want to implement that too early when you don't need to. Okay, so now we're going to move on here to Catherine's puzzle. So let me shrink this down and let's move on to, there we go, Catherine's puzzle. So if you've got that one, bring it up in front of you, and I will get that up here as well. I have to click, 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 and click. There we go. It's Catherine Grant's puzzle. Okay. Again, we're going to start this at the stuck point. It's actually fairly easy. So this is what I wanted you to see if you spotted what was the next step here before we do that. And if you want to comment on that, go ahead and put it in the comments. If you spotted what needs to happen next, okay? Even if you're just now looking at it, just scan the puzzle and see if you think about, well, what do we need to do? All right. Now, Bob put up, he says, what lesson do I teach chains in? Okay, that is at our doctorate level. It is that the 600 level, 600 series of puzzles? I think it's the first doctorate level technique that we teach, or the first one you run into in the sequence. And that is, so yeah, at the doctorate level, 600, that's where you get it. Okay. And it's an extensive lessons, because I always found, well, let's put it this way. One of our club members, John McLeod, he introduced me first to chains. And the biggest problem that I had with the chain was actually finding the chain. Okay. How do you search and find for a chain? It's the logic is fairly straightforward once you get it, but finding it on any given puzzle is really actually quite difficult. Especially when you're just starting out learning the technique. I mean, okay, I get it. We're going to start, if we run the logic for this chain, it starts with a 9 here and ends with a 9 there. And so, okay, I get that. But now how do when I've got a puzzle in front of me, how do I find that chain? And so the lessons are extensive with many, many different methods of finding the chain. Logic, no big deal. I think when you're at that level, I think you got the logic, but where do you start? How do you finish? Where do you know when you're done? And so we use a process. Brian Garman came up with a particular process of actually of finding beginning and ending endpoints first, and then creating the chain, and what are you looking for? And so the lesson spent a whole lot of time on just that topic, which is how to find it. Okay. So I don't see anybody's commenting on this one. So Catherine, this is actually not a very hard puzzle. Catherine got to this point. She sent me, this is, she had some interest. Let me see if I can pull up her puzzle. Hold on. Yeah. Actually, And let me share this with you. This is a different, here we go. Okay, so this is what she sent me. Let me see if I can make it a bit bigger so that you can see here. Okay, I guess that's about as good as we're going to get. Zoom in maybe. There we go. I'll scroll down. Okay, here we go. All right. So you can see she says I've got the original puzzle is there on the left, and where she's at is on the right. And let's see, can you see me? You can't actually see my cursor because of the way. Maybe I could do this. Yeah, that's better. You see the little hand over here. Woo! Hello. She's got some interesting pencil marks. Like, for example, she's got the 8. Interesting from my point of view because they're not the way I teach. I'm not going to criticize her pencil marks because they probably mean something to her, and that's fine. But I'm not sure exactly what she means, and she didn't explain in the puzzle, but that's okay. She's got 8s down in the lower left corner in these 2 spaces over here. She's got some things hanging out here, like this 5 is sort of, this 5 pencil mark in the upper right is sort of hanging out all by itself. I'm not sure what that means. And let's see, there was another one like that. It was similar to that, where there was and so again, not really sure exactly, but the where we are here, this is where she's at, and essentially I know exactly how she got here. It's fine. There's no problem with it. So let me go back to my version of her puzzle. That'd be right here. All right. And what we see here is, okay, so again, I don't have some of the pencil marks, that some of those extra ones. I mean, the 8 that she had in, like right over here, the 8 that she had in the lower left corner really does belong in the upper right, and that's fine. The 5 that was all by itself, not sure how she got that or what she was intending or what she was working on, but nonetheless, here we are. Okay. So as I'm working the puzzle, one of the things, one of the early discoveries is this 5-9 double-double that you come across right here in box 4. And you do it because you got the 5-9 in box 5, and you find this 5 fairly early with 1 through 9s or whatever, and you've got the 9 already over here. So it's really actually quite easy to come to this point right here and understand where we're at here. Now let me erase something, so this will kind of give you a little clue. I should have probably not put this on here. So she actually had those pencil marks that I have there, but when I'm at this point right here, what I see, I notice this box down here, and I notice that we have 4. Okay, so think about this. We have 4 spaces empty, right? And we have 2 numbers that are pencil marked, and we have no pencil marks in this last space right here. So what does that mean? Well, that means that, to me, that immediately tells me that again, we have 4 empty spaces, so we have 4 numbers missing, and we have 2 of those 4 numbers pencil marked. So that means that there's only 2 numbers can go in this space. So that drew my attention, first of all. And when I count through the box, I realize that this space can only be 5 or 9. Okay. Now, immediately when I see that, okay, I am looking for and Norman Cooper has found it. Okay. Immediately when I see that, actually I wrote it in the wrong color, but anyway, I'm immediately looking, is there anything I can do with that space that it can only be 2 numbers, that by value cell? And of course, this one's really easy because it's right next to the other 5-9. So this space here, let me just mark them. This can only be 5 and 9, and this can only be 5 and 9. And therefore, 5 and 9 can go nowhere else in the column. We already, and Catherine had already identified this 4-8 double-double up here. So that was not the issue. But as Norman has pointed out, this 5-9 double-double here means that this space right here has to be a 3. Actually, let's go back. Let's get rid of this. And let's go back to blue. And this space has to be a 3. Okay. Now, that is the very next logical step. It's not everything that's necessary. Okay. there is something else you've got to do here. And let me think here. What was that? Okay. Trying to the other thing that we have to do. So let's talk about that would be, what does this mean? Okay, so hold on a second. I'm getting there. I'm catching up to myself. Okay, so let's go see what this. So I wanted to look and see what impact that this 3 had, and I'm coming up here, and it doesn't have any impact row wise. It was a row eliminating 3. Come up here. Okay, so 3 goes in these 3 spaces, but I start counting. Let's count through this box. Okay, so this 1, we need a 2, right? 2. I see that. Okay, what's missing? Okay, so we have 2, 3, 5, and 9. We have the 4, 8 double locked up, and we're missing 2, 3, 5, and 9 in these 4 spaces here. And as I'm looking at that, I'm saying, okay, we have 1 in the box. We need 2. It can go in these 3 spaces here. I'm going to go ahead and just dot those so that we keep up with it. Okay, 2 goes in these 3 spaces. Where does 3 go? Well, there's a 3 in the row. Again, we looking at this. So the 3 goes in the same 3 spaces, right? And then 4 is in the double. 5 is pencil marked. 6, 7, and then 8's in the double, and there's 9. And what you realize is that 2, 3, and 9 go in those spaces. Are the only things that go in those spaces, or can only go in those spaces that I've marked with red. And therefore, there's only one number that goes right down here in, and that is a 5. So 5 has to go here. And that actually makes the rest of the puzzle quite easy from that point. Okay. So what we end up with here is a 5 here, and a 9 here, and a 9 here, and a 9 up here from this point. So, so Catherine, what you're missing are 2 little things. Is you actually did find this 5, 9. It was pencil marked on your puzzle, but you needed to connect these 2 spaces, the 5, 9 double here in column 7, and then get the 3. That would be one thing. That's kind of an easy thing, but it's actually not the real key. It's then looking at these other boxes more carefully and thinking about where numbers can go. You could also have done a think outside the box. That would have worked as well to find this 5 here. So any number of those things would have helped you. So great. Thanks, Marianne. I appreciate it. And actually, this is 2, 3, 2, 3 double. This would be a 1. This is 5 here, and this is 1 here, right? And that makes a 5 here and a 4 here. And am I doing that right? And that would be, this is a 2, 8 double along here. That would make this if this is 2, 8 double, I'm not going to pencil mark it right now. That would eliminate the 8 from here. So this is a 1. This is an 8. This is a 1. This is an 8. This is a 4. Again, and we just keep going from there. And it's actually quite simple solution from that point. Does anybody have any other? Okay, so Carla, you got that. Thank you. I didn't see your comment until just now, but yes. Okay, so you do the think outside the box on row 3, and you get that exactly. So thank you for that. And you did that a long time ago. So thanks. I'm just looking back at these comments. I'm like, wow. Okay. Apologize for not recognizing that earlier. So that's exactly where we're at. Okay. Again, the rest of the solution is really fairly simple. You can probably see opportunities right now that I didn't even bother to do, but we're going to move on. So let's get on over to Mark's puzzle. So Mark here, I'm going to shrink that down, and we are going to get a lot of this other stuff out of the way. Hold on one second. And then I'm going to get to this one right here. Okay, so Mark, he says, I've excerpted some of it. I didn't put the entire quote up there, but he says, there are times I have a senior moment and I can't remember the many previous lessons. A quick refresher would help. And he said, and I said, okay, well, fine. Is there a particular puzzle that you would like me to work on? And he, being a club member, sent in this puzzle straight from our puzzle library. He said, this is one I'm having difficulty with. So we are going to tackle this puzzle right now. Okay. And now, what I would do when I'm approaching this puzzle is, because I don't know what the puzzle is going to present. I don't know if this is going to be a graduate or doctorate level puzzle or master's level. I don't have any clue what I'm going to run into here. So we kind of go with what it gives us. And again, we start with the basics and work our way down. Now I am noticing there's some patterns. So those of you who are versed in our pattern solving methods that I teach at the sophomore level, you might recognize some of these patterns, or they're almost patterns. And, actually the fact of the matter is that they don't quite work the way you want them to. They're not all that great, except for right down here in hold on a second, down here in box 7. And actually we could have gotten this with the 1 through 9s just as easily, but I'm seeing that with the 2, 6 here, and that's eliminated from there. But then eventually I realized, or pretty quickly I realized, that this has to be a 2 and this has to be a 6. And then we're left with this 1. We have 2, we need 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 goes here. That you can't see the whole thing. 7 goes there. That goes in all 3 of these places. So let's see here. What do we want to work with then? We have, I feel the need to go into this, to deal with this band, the 2, 5, and 8, and see what we can come up with. And then we'll maybe switch to just 1 through 9s. But we're going to do 1 through 9s actually on this band. So 1 doesn't give us much. 2, we can reduce that down to these 3 spaces. And then 3 goes in too many. 4 as well. 4, we can know that 4 goes here or here. And then 4 goes in too many places otherwise. 5. Oh, we actually can fill in the 5 here. That's cool. And then that allows us to fill in the 5 here. Now, maybe 5s are something we need to pay attention to on the rest of these boxes that don't have any 5s in it. We might get even more progress. Let's see here. 6s. 6, 6, and then 6 can only go here and here. And then 7s. So 7 can go, 7's in the box. 7, 7. And then 7 goes in one of these 3 as well. 8 can only go here, here. And then 9. And let's see, so 9 can't be here or here. So 9 actually goes here. 9, 9. And then 9. This is an 8, 9 double double. Now that 8, 9 double double combined with the 1, 3, 7 triple combo lets me know actually now that 4 has to go here. And there's other ways you could discover that as well, I'm sure. I know, let's see here. So now we're at 1 and 3. 1, 3 here, right? No help on that. So you can see the process that I'm going through here. So this would be, there's nothing we can do with that. There's something else we can do here. 1, 2, 3. It's 4. That's it. 4. I knew there was something else. So this becomes a 4, 6 here, right? 4, 6 double double. And these 2. And then this space here can only be 1 or 3. No, this actually be 1. Is that right? Let me make sure I'm doing that right. You got 4 can only go there and there. 6 can't go there and there. So this does this 4, 6 double double, right? This can't be a 3. So this is a 1. This is a 3. This is a 1. And then we come to the conclusion that now this is a 2, 3, 7 triple. Okay, so we got one little hook in there with a little bit of a pattern solving down here, and then we're actually able to do quite a bit, make quite a bit of progress on this whole thing. The space can only be 2 and 7. What are we left with on this row? I just want 1. Oh, no, we got 1. We need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 and 8, right? So we know this can't be 8. We know this can't be 7. So this is 2 or 8 only. And this can still be 2, 7, or 8. All right. Let's go hit the 1 through 9s now. I'm going to just quickly go through these boxes here and see what we can come up with. And let's see. No, 2, 2, and then 2 can only go here or here. And then 2 only goes here or here. 2 goes in anything. 2, 2, and then 2 goes in these 3 across here, right? 4. Those 4 can't be here. 4, those 2. I'm moving along here. Okay, so we get a column eliminator here. And nothing special there, but we come back and feed that back up here. Okay, 5, 5, 5. We mentioned 5, so we're missing 5 here and here, and I don't think we're going to make as much progress as I'd really like to, but that's okay. 5, 5, and then 5 can only go here or here. 6, 6, and then we have a 6 goes here. Fill that in. Yay. 6. And then fill that one in. Say, yeah, it's done great. And then 6 here. So we have all of our 6s. 6. No. Yeah, we do. Okay. Yeah, I have to finish that. Let me make sure I got the rest of them. Okay, so then we can finish. We can solve this 4, 6 double double here. That's what we can do. So 6 here. Sorry about that. And 4 here. And let's clean that up a little bit. And then what else can we do with a 4? 4 can only go here or here. So is everybody following along? And the 1, Timothy, you're probably ahead of me here. So I assume that what you're doing is when you say okay, I'm catching your notation there. 8, 3. Row 8. Column 3. Is it supposed to be a 3? I'm not there yet. Okay. And then you have I guess that's row 7, column 1. Row 7, column 1. No, I must be misinterpreting your notation. Maybe you mean column 7, row 1. No. Yeah, maybe. Let me get there. Okay. All right. So where was I I apologize. I'm not as fast as you are on this. So, we did 6s, and we need to come back and do 7s. So 7 can only go here and here. And, so if you want to tell me a space, if you do the row column, notation, like for example, R3, C7 would be row 3, column 7. So I know how you're orienting that. Some people do it differently. You think columns first and rows second. So whatever you do it, if you just let me know exactly what you're thinking, so that I can follow along a little bit easier, that would be great. Okay, so 7s can go. All these things can go everywhere here. Those 4, and those, and then anything here. So 7s we didn't do much with. 8. That's these 3. 8 can't be here. That's these 3. 8. That's these 3 coming back. Anything. 8 can only go here or here. And then let's do 9s. So I'm going to start this. So 9 goes here, right? Okay. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Okay. So then 9, those 2, and then those 3, and then these 2 right here. 9. Okay. What do we got along here? We got a nice think outside the box with 2, 3, and 8. That makes this a 2, 3 only. This makes this a 2, 8 only, and this has to be a 3, 8. Is that right? Only. What else can we do? A lot of opportunities here. Finish that. We're done with. Let's think about this column 1 here. So we got 1, 3, 7, and 8. So this can only be 1 or 3. And then this is 1 or 8. So this is 3, 1, 3, and 8. So this actually has to be 7. Is that what you were referring to? Okay. Maybe you were talking about that, Timothy. I'm not really sure. Okay. Right. Come. And Patty, I caught up with you. Marianne, don't worry about it. We're just doing 1 through 9s right now. And it's not, we're getting there. So, okay. So we're doing a think outside the box. All right. We stopped the 1 through 9s. We're doing think outside the box now. So what we're at right now is that I did a think outside the box here, realizing that this space right here had to be a 7. That's going to give us some great information here, specifically right over here. This space now has to be a 1 because 7 can't go there anymore. And then we have now a 3, 7 double double. And what can we do with that? Anything 1, 1, and then 1 can only go here or here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 3 is the only other thing here. And then again, we got rid of the 7. So 1, 3, and 8. So 8 can only go here, here, or here. Now this is a cool thing. Okay, so this is our double row elimination with 8s. As soon as I reduce the 8 to only the top and bottom column in this box, and top and bottom row, I'm sorry, in this box, in box 4, top and bottom row in box 5, we can actually deduce that 8 has to go here. Okay, and then of course there are plenty of other ways to do that. So this space here is now 2. This space then can't be 2 or 8. This has to be a 7. So this is a 2. Am I doing that right? How are we doing over there? Everybody's keeping up or whatever. And hey, you know what? You can always go back and watch this later. Isn't that great? That's another great thing about the club, is that everything's recorded and you can watch it at your leisure. So, all right, let's see here. We have done the 7, so 7 has to go here. And then 7, 7, 7, 7, that one, those 4, those 2, and these 2. So I'm starting to notice, okay, we got a lot of pencil marks in this, and we have this one space that's got no pencil marks in it, and we got this buildup of pencil marks down here in row 9. So let's take a look at, and that's okay. This is part of this column 8 that only has 3 things missing. And I think that's 1, 2, and 4. So, okay, we can't quite fill it in. But we got, what is this, 2 and 4 only? But this one here, there we go. So this can't be 2 and 4. So this is actually 1. And so we can get rid of that. Clean up a little bit. And 7. And then this space up here. But then we can know that this space has to be, it can't be 2. It has to be a 4. So this is now a 2. And could we have done that earlier? Well, we could have narrowed it down, but well, we did have it. We had it 2 going across, and when I filled in the 9, I didn't re-pencil mark. So okay, so we finished that column. That's great. And what's left in this box? 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And 4 can go here or here only. That's a 4. And here. I don't think I made that any better. 4, 5, 7 triple double. And what's up here? We need a 1, 2. Okay, it goes in everything. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. That's not helpful at all. And let's come all the way back up here to box 3. Okay, 1 can't go there. So 1 goes here or here. 2, 3 can't be there. So 3 can only be here or here now. And 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8 is the last thing, which can't go there. So 8 can only go here or here. So we just discovered a quad double. So I might be now catching up to Timothy. But okay, so then we have the 4 over here. So okay, just keep going with what we've done. You know, I think that's probably one of the things that I have the biggest problem with. I come over here, like we're working on column 8, and we fill in the 1 and the 2, and then I get distracted with what's going on down here in box 9, and I forget that I filled in this 4, you know, up here, and I can actually do a lot with that. I just completely bug out on that. And so you know, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. That's what I end up with. It's the biggest challenge, I guess, for me is remembering what I did when I was doing several things in a row and going back and following up on that. So let's go look at this box 1, and we can see that we have 1 is eliminated from every space but here. That's great, and that's going to be a big deal. Help 1, 2, 3. That has to be here. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. And then that solves what we have going on over here in box 3. So we can pick any of the several numbers to solve this, but I'll start with, let's see, the 8 has to go here. That forces the 2 to here, the 3 to here, and the 1 to here. That was exciting. So how does it make you feel when you're solving these puzzles and you're finding all of these things? I mean, does it make you feel good? I mean, are you like, does it get you excited? I mean, it seems like, I mean, should it get you excited, or, you know, I don't know. I think some of these things are really, really cool. Even though they're simple, well within my ability to solve, it's still fun, and yes, I do enjoy it. So let's see here. We did fill in the 1 here or up there, so that allows us to pencil mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. We're still 7's our problem here, but hopefully not for long. Okay, let's now. I don't know if I have anything else. Does anybody have anything else? Okay, let's. I think what we're looking at here. I'm looking at a lot of things that I'm not making progress on. Maybe there's something I'm overlooking. But I come back and I'm looking at this box 4 here, and I want to figure out what's going on. And as I'm looking at the box, I'm actually realizing something else that I missed. Again, coming back up and following through on what I have learned. And I put the 1, 3, and 8 here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I don't go back. I get distracted over here in box 3, and then I don't end up coming back down to box 7. And it's just, it's a big deal what I just filled in, because the 3 has to go here. The 8 goes here. The 5 goes here. The 4 goes here. And then let's erase that. And I'm going to go ahead and do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and erase the 3, 7, because we can solve that. And I'm going to erase all these yucky pencil marks over here. And because we can solve that as well. So let's do this. So this is 3. This is 7. And then 7 goes, 1, 2, 7 has to go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And then the 4 goes here, and the 1 goes here. And then this here is a 2, 7 double. We can't quite solve that yet. I'm not going to pencil mark the 7 because we're almost done here. We're looking at this column having only 2 and this column having only 1. 1, 2, 3. Let's do the one that's easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So that means 9 here, 8 here, and 8 here. Okay, like that. Again, we have all the information we need to easily solve the puzzle. 1, 2, 3. It looks like, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we can solve the 3, 7 here, which will allow us to solve the 2, 7, and then whatever this is here. Okay, this is a 2, 7, remember. So 3 here, 7 here, this was what, 2 stuff, 7 here, 2 here, 2 here, and then finally we need to put the 1 right here. Hey, we did it. Okay, Mark, thank you very much for providing that puzzle, and I hope that helps. I mean, what we do is we start with the 1 through 9s. We start with some sort of pattern solving, something that gets us a good bit of information on the board right away. Okay, that's what we're trying to do. Then we move to think outside the box. And in this one, we actually benefited from a double row elimination, and that may be where you got hung up. And this double row and double column elimination, I can tell you that it's not the technique. It's whoever's, it's being able to spot it. And this is a junior level technique, the double row, double column elimination that we do. Club members and whoever's got the bachelor's, if you're a bachelor's customer, go back and watch that and study that. And you really need to look at that. That throws a lot of people for a loop. In other words, not the technique itself, but seeing the pattern with the pencil marks and allowing that to help you make decisions. Okay. And I talk about that a lot. I mean, it's the double row elimination, which is what we did with the 8. So I'll point it out here. We found that the 8 could only go here and here. After we had found out that here and here was an 8-9 double. So we found that 8 could only go in those two top and bottom row of box 4, top and bottom row of box 5. Therefore, it had to go in the middle row of box 6, and that's where we came up with. So it's again observing the patterns of your pencil marks. Some of them are not quite as easy to see. That one was fairly easy to see. So that's where you can. That's what I think. If there's one thing that if you're struggling with these the bachelor's level puzzles, the lower level puzzles, I think that's probably one technique that you could, if you're not seeing it, it's what you could really work on. Go back to the lessons, rewatch the lessons, and then keep a lookout for them on your puzzles. I find them a lot, and they help me solve a huge number of things. Okay, so we're going to move on. Let's see here. Box 4. Elaine, you were dealing with. Okay, yes, right. Okay, so I didn't see it, but you did see it. Okay, and then great. Thanks, Elaine. Appreciate that. All right, so we are going now to our last puzzle. If you want to pull it out, and let's pull that up here. This is Ted Bringle's puzzle. It's a little bit more difficult, and it is here. Is that it? Ted Bringle. Okay, let's get that. That's not Mark Luria's puzzle. So if we can get the banner right, we will take a look at that. Sorry. There we go. Okay. So Ted sends this in. Okay. So let's if we put up Ted's quote, I'm excerpting what Ted had to say. Okay. He said, so he gets to this point and he's stuck. Okay. What he notices is that this space and this space are the same. In other words, they can both be 3 and 5. Okay. And that's the only thing they can be. And so, but then instead of working with that, or trying to take that in, what he does is he ends up going to a trial and error, just pick a number, pick 3 or 5, and stick it in one of the spaces and then see how that works out. And he actually, he picked the wrong number first, and then he confesses he picked the wrong number, and then he then went back and did the other number, and he was able to solve the puzzle. So actually the fact that these two happen to be the same, those two spaces that I marked with red happen to both be 3 and 5, or they're both. I would call that a disjoint double-double. Some of you who are up in the doctorate courses might recognize that pattern as a disjoint double-double. It really doesn't matter, though. It doesn't have any impact on the whole thing. And so Ted, what I would first of all say is that if you got to this point and you felt like you needed to guess, my suggestion is to set the puzzle aside and come back to it later. Think about it some more. Maybe you already know what you need to do, or maybe you need to go learn something else. Again, create your stack of unsolved, yet to be solved puzzles rather than guessing. Because when you guess, all you learned was that one of them needed to be 3, and that didn't really help you learn any logic. You didn't grow anything in this. So there is a logical solution to this, and we're going to find this. It is a master's level technique. I don't know if anybody else had a chance. Again, you didn't have these puzzles way in advance, but I don't know if anybody had a chance to actually figure this out. Now, the couple of things with this disjoint double-double is that we do talk about the disjoint double-double being able to be used in linked double-doubles in our master's level courses. We talk about using disjoint double-doubles in chains as well, as a way of finding a beginning and ending point in a chain. That's, of course, at the doctorate level. We talk about using the disjoint double-double also as a 2 corners technique that we just released, the 2 corners in the doctorate level. That was a recent release. I don't know if anybody's had, how many of you have had a chance to actually look at those at the 2 corners technique and learn from that. I hope that you have. So that's another great technique, but it turns out that you don't need any of those things. And but I'm going to go through what we do need, and we don't even need to involve the 3-5 disjoint double-double whatsoever. Okay. However, I will admit that I am drawn to this. I am drawn to these areas here with these bi values. So the 3-5, the 5-2, and then we got the 5-4 down here, 3-5, and maybe this is 3-5 over here in box 7. And I'm my first actual instinct at this point is to think about a 3 corners technique, or what we call an XY wing, or what other people call an XY wing, or maybe an XYZ wing, especially when you consider the possibility of what's going on here with this 3-4-5, along with there's a 3-5 here, a 4-5, but then you realize that if you think about it, that there's no eliminations that you can do. So that was my first thing I was drawn to, and I exhausted all of that. Now, I'm not saying that there's not one on here. I just didn't find it. So there could be one, and I just didn't look hard enough. Okay, so given that. But so again, that's where I'm sitting here thinking, okay, well, there could be something. How hard am I willing to look? And is there something else that's easier to see that would solve the puzzle? And so the other thing that I'm noticed and I'm drawn to are these double doubles, the 2-7 double double, the 3-4 double double, and the 1-6 double double here in box 5. I thought, and of course, if I'm not seeing anything that's sort of normal, like crossbox activity going on here, like maybe there's something I can work with the 3-4 and the 2-4. Maybe there's something over here that's a 2-3 that I didn't know about, and that would be a 2-3-4 crossbox double, a triple double. But I didn't find it. Did some think outside the box. Didn't find anything like that. It might even do the same thing with 2-7 here and a 2-9 here. Is there a space that, like, maybe the space can be 2-7-9 only, and that would allow us to fill in this space here? Anyway, all of those things none of that stuff worked out, and so I end up being drawn to this 1-6 here, and I start to think about a potential deadlock, or actually I'm looking at each of those, the 2-7, the 3-4, and the 1-6. And I'm looking for the potential deadlock, which I would need to find some sort of pencil marking to help me out here that's parallel to this. So in another column over here, what I find, and when I look at the 1-6, of course, is I see the 6 right over here, pencil marked. Okay. And that tells me that maybe I could, if I could figure out a way to make this a 1-6 double double, then we would have a problem. Okay. So for those of you who need a little bit of a refresher, let me come over and actually hold on a second. I guess that's where I'm stuck with that. Okay. So, if let me go to switch to red, since we're going to do an if situation. If these two spaces here were a 1-6 double double, if these were the only two things that could go there, we would have, it would pair up with these, it would actually what I call deadlock with this 1-6 double that we know for sure. There's no logical solution to this. Okay. It's a flip of the coin situation. It should never happen on any puzzle. If you find yourself in this situation, a similar situation where you've got two doubles parallel to each other, either they're on parallel rows or parallel columns, then you either have made a mistake somewhere, which is actually probably most likely, or you have a bad puzzle, which is, if you use reputable puzzle sources, that should not be the case, but it's still a possibility. So if we have this, again, there is no way to determine which one of these spaces should be 1, which one of them should be 6. You flip a coin, and in the result of it is that I call it a deadlock because there's no way to know. You're dead locked between the two. There's no logical way. You could progress the puzzle by flipping a coin and putting 6 in one and 1 in the other, or however you do it. But then actually you wind up with the potential for 2 unique solutions for this puzzle, which is a bad situation. That's the reason why we don't want to avoid it. So again, with the potential deadlock, what we're looking for is we're saying, all right, how could we create this situation? Because if there's a way that this situation could be created, then we want to avoid that and go a different direction. So as I've described all of that, does anybody have and want to comment about how that works? And I'm actually a little bit remiss because I think the comments might be coming by a little slow today. By the time you comment and then I see it, maybe a couple of minutes have gone by. But what would be the situation where we would create a 1-6 double here? Okay, well, we have this 1 down here that's eliminating these 3 spaces. And so if somehow or another we were to eliminate 1 from these 2 spaces, then 1 could only go in these 2 spaces right here, right? And that would form our 1-6 double. This is kind of the thought process. This is the thought process that I go through. It's subject to refinement based on how you feel and how you look at the puzzle yourself, obviously, because we all have a kind of a different view of things. But I don't see anybody saying anything in particular that is a thing. But I think that for those of you who are really experienced in the potential deadlock thing, what you would come to the conclusion is that if this were a 1 here, because that's one of the 2 places for 1 in the ball, and 1 can go there. It can't go anywhere else because we have a row eliminating 1 up here, and then we have this 1 down here. So 1's reduced to these 2 spaces. But if 1 were here, then 1 would be reduced to these 2 spaces within the box. It would form that double. That would be a problem, and we can't have that. That's the key. So the conclusion that we can draw then is that up here in row 2, column 7, that 1 is not a possibility. Okay, and so we can eliminate 1 from that space, because if 1 ever did go in that space, again, we would have a problem. So what does that mean? Well, that means that we can draw the conclusion that 1 has to, hold on, get my pen, go there. There's only one other place for 1 to go. If it goes over here in column 7, we got a problem, so it can't go there. So it has to go in the only other place, which is there. And then that forces this to be a 9. And we can actually solve the rest of the puzzle very easily from there. Does anybody have any questions about that? I am going to go, I'm going to go ahead and keep solving is what I'm going to do right now. So we're going to continue on. Actually, let me go and get rid of my red since 1 cannot go there. That's awesome. We can do something else. Okay, so we now know that 1 can only go here and here. All right. If I put Carla, if I put 1 in box 4, row 6, would that make a deadlock box? Or if you put a 1 here, okay. The reason, okay, so actually, let me back up a little bit. Let me back up. And okay. So this is where we're at. You put a 1, box 4, That's a row 6. That's here. Okay, so if you put the 1 there, would that create the deadlock? And no, it would not, because 1 is still a possibility in this space right here. So we have not forced that move. Does not force 1 into only these 2 spaces. I hope that makes sense. There. It still can go in 3 places in the box, and so you haven't really formed this double-double, which would deadlock with this double-double over here, the 1-6 double-doubles. Okay? That's a good question, though. Great. Okay. Anybody else have any questions about that? I mean, there may be let me put it this way, okay, Carla and others. There may be another way to do what you're saying. There may be another way to force 1 out of these 2 spaces is what we're having to do. We have to force 1 out of here and here, right? When we do, whatever we do to force 1 out of here would make it, these are the only 2 places left in the box that 1 could go. So whatever we could do to make that happen, there may be other ways to do it. Like, maybe if we placed 9 here, and there may be some chain of events that would cause us to, not 9, it has to be something else. Let me tell you here. 2, if we put 2 here, for example, that might cause some chain of events that keep, that would also prevent 1 from being there with some other number. But that's a long chain of events that we don't really, and it's not necessarily a chain like we talked about in the other puzzle, but it's this leads to this and so on, that would fill these 2 with something other than 1, right? So I don't want to go through all that trouble. I'm like, what's the easiest thing I can do? And the easiest thing is to come up here and figure out what's the one move that I can do that would eliminate 1 from those 2 spaces. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. And sometimes it's easy like that. Sometimes it's not so easy. Sometimes there are some things that you have to do to fiddle and finagle, and maybe you need to have a chain of events that's, if the chain of events is more than about 2 steps, I think I'm looking for another technique, because it gets a little hairy and a little hinky. So again, all right, let's go back and let's keep solving. If you have any other questions, and I saw that you got it, Carl. I was just emphasizing the point of how to create that. All right, so again, we did that, and that immediately allowed us to fill in the 2 here, which allowed us to fill in the 4 here, and leaving us with only one thing in that column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 5. Never, always count through. Never trust that you're going to. I never trust myself. Let's put it that way. So 4 here and 3 here. Because my brain is moving. So brain is moving faster than my pen is, or not that it's really, really fast. I'm not really sure. It's just something's out of sync. And so if I don't count through and slow myself down, I'm going to wind up in trouble here. All right, so this space here could only be 2 and 5. I can see that because there's only 2 things left on the row, but can't do anything with it. Okay, so let's go back to this box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 7 and 9. So this becomes a 6, 9. No, this is 9. This is 6. All right. And this is a 1, 7. Okay, so now we just talked about double row, double column eliminations. Is there somebody that can tell me what? I'm going to move on to a different part of the puzzle, but I'm cluing you in. I just did something there. Can somebody spot and I'll make it general, the double row or double column elimination and what you can do with it? If you want to pop that into the comments, I'm going to move on to down here, see if we can do anything with this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still goes on a 5, 4, and 5. Wow, that didn't help at all. What else are we doing with here? We did the 3, 3, and we can reduce 3 to these 2 spaces here and here. 9, we got that. The 1 doesn't help us. Anybody coming up with it? Okay, no, not yet. The 3, did I fill? No, the 3 was already there. All of this was there. The 4, I'm getting to the point where I have to do the double blank elimination right now. Because if I don't do it now, I'm running out of other things that are easy to do. Okay. Let's see. We got 1, 2, and 7 on this row, and this still can be 1, 2, and 7 as far as we know, unless we spot something there. Bob, you said top right. That would be up here. You spotted something up here. Okay, let's count 1, 2. Okay, so 2 can still go in everything. 3, 4. Did I miss something there? 3 and 4 and 5. 5 and 6 and then yeah. You saw. Okay, there's this 7 here, right? Gotcha. Catching up to you, but that's not the double row elimination. That's just a simple thing. And Marianne, box 3, column 9. Okay, yes, that's what Bob has said. That's exactly right. Okay, but that's not the double row elimination. Okay, that we're seeing there. That is that you did that, and that's because we did the. This is a column eliminator here with the 7, so that's good. That does help, and but that's not the thing I was pointing to. So row 4, column 2, and that's it. Joe, good job. Okay, so again, going back to the double row elimination, as soon as I filled in the 7 here and here, I immediately look over and see that 7 can only be in the same 2 places along. There's a reduced 7 to two rows in box 6, and I immediately the first thing I do, I make a habit of checking. All right, 7's in the same 2 rows, so therefore 7 would only be able to go in one of these 2 spaces up here. That's the conclusion that the double row elimination would draw us. But then we actually see that we have a 7 up there in column 3. So we can force with 7 has to go here. Oops, let me just go ahead and put that in blue since we're not supposing. So there we go. Thanks, Joe. And and Patty, you're saying that row 9, column 9 is a 7. Wait a minute. I think we might have a different numbering system for our rows and columns, Patty. Column 9. Yes. Okay, Patty, all right. There you go. Right. So good. Yes. And that's again, I was trying to help you with the double row elimination, and it revolved around, yes, I see where you're all coming from, and you were all correct. That was pointing to this 7 right up here. Because of the column eliminating 7. That's exactly right. And I did not actually execute on that one like you all did, at least not soon enough. But I was referring to the double row elimination with the 7s that allows us to fill this 7 in over here. That's actually, I think, going to be a lot. It's less obvious, but a lot more helpful. Okay. Now, we are, let's see here. Let's do anything else we need to do here. This space. Okay, so see with the 7. Now we could have done this with think outside the box, but anyway, we're gonna carry on with that 7. See what we come up with. We can actually now finish the 1 7 here, and then we'll be able to finish the 2 7 here, 7 here, 2 here, and wait! I just did something wrong. Did I do something wrong? Hold on. I did. What did I do wrong? There's no place for 2. And what did I do wrong? This is not a 1 here. That's my problem. And why did I do that? Because I messed up with the 6 goes here. That puts the 1 here. Forces the 1. How did I mess this up? Oh. Duh. Okay. So what do I need to do here? How do I need to recover from this one? All right, let's go back out here. Okay. I see what I did. Okay. There again, what I did just now, okay, what I failed to do was to count through. Okay. when I did this. Okay, so I made the assumption that since this was 1-6 here, that this was also a 1-6. Okay, that was my assumption. And then I saw the 6 up here and knew that that couldn't be. So what I needed to do was to count through this row. Okay, so I can solve this 1-6 double double with the 6 that I filled in here. So this is 6 and this is 1. And what's missing from the row was not a 6 like I thought. It wasn't a 1-6 double double. This needs to be a 2. Okay, so now, man, okay, got that one done. All right. Let's see here. Okay. What else can we do? We are not able right now to solve the 2-7 or the 1-7, not with the information that I have on the board right now. So we have to discover a bit more. Where should we go next? Okay. See this right here can be, okay. All right. So this is a good space to look at. So what's drawing my attention, of course, is the pencil marks. 4 space is empty. 2 numbers are pencil marked. This one's empty. What goes here? And it turns out that if I look along the row, I can do a think outside the box, and it's 1, 2, and 7, and then I see the 2 and 7 in the box. So this has to be a 1, and that helps us now solve all these things correctly. And we are, let's see here, 7 here, 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 can go in all of them. Nope. Did I mess up again? What did I do wrong this time? 1, 2, 7. So I'm missing 9. 9 has to go in one of these. 9. This has to be a 9. What did I do wrong? Does anybody know what I did wrong? Nobody is commenting on what I'm doing wrong here. 1, 1. Okay, maybe I did this stuff too quickly here. All right. Stop. Okay, let's go. I can't believe I messed this one up again. All right. I'm not doing this right. That's right. Okay, I see what I'm doing now. I can go back. This is okay, I filled in this 2 a long time ago. This is the problem that I'm having. The problem is that I'm having right at this moment is I'm quite a bit tired, actually. And what I'm doing is I did this 2. So how long ago did I put this 2 in here? And I could have solved the 2-7 here and the 7-1 here. And actually, this is supposed to be a 9 is what that is. And now 1 can go in all 3. Okay. So my apologies, but that's it's been a long weekend and we're not done yet. Okay, so but we should be able to solve this fairly easily from this point. And it is fairly easy solution. My eyes are starting to bug out here. Okay. And I'm getting worried that I'm made other mistakes. 1, 2. Okay. So that 2 can't go there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So the 9, we can put the 9 here. Yay. We can put the 9 here. Okay. We're making some progress now. And this is 2 can only go, let's see here. 2 can go here and down there. So 2 goes here or here. That's a 5, 2, 5. And then 2, 3, 5. And what do we still have over here? We have that's 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have the 3 and the 4 and the 2. That's still, I keep coming back to that and really coming up empty with that. So I'm thinking that maybe I need to focus on what's going on down here in this box, because that's the only one that I have not really looked at. So 1, we have 2 that can't be there and there. Still needs to go in 3 places. 3 can't be here or here. So 3 actually, there we go. That helps. So 3 goes here or here only. And then that makes this a 3. And this becomes a 4, 5 double here. Okay. That helps a lot. 5, that makes this a 2, 5 here. That's going to help too. So this is 2, 5 double. And this is a 3 here. And that makes this a 3. And this is a 4. And this is 2, 5. And these 2 here. And that would mean that we know exactly, this is 2 5 double double up here, 1 2 3 4, so 4 goes here, right? And then this is 2 5 here, 2 5 2 5, and 1 2 5 2 5 1 3 8 3. This is a 3 4 5. And then what goes here? This is 2 or 5. There we go. Okay, so this can't be 5. I mean, count through 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. This is a 2. This is a 5. This is a 2. And then 2 then has to go, or 5, I should say. 5, maybe. And 2, yeah, let's start up here. 2 5 1. Then we have, I could have done that 1 a long time ago. Yes, I could have. No, I couldn't. That's all right. Never mind. 2 here, 5 here, 2 here, 5 here. Sorry, I'm not cleaning up the marks. This can only be 3 or 5, right? Now it can't be 5. So is this a 3? 3 5 8 can't be. So 5. No, it's not. Let me count through. Huh. We need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. How are we doing? Thanks, Carla. Okay, 1 and 8 can't go here, so this does have to be a 3. And this is 4. This, so we can finish this one right here, right? 1 2 3. This can't be 4, so this is 5 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. This is 5 here, and then 1 1. Well, 1 can only go in 2 2 3 4. There we go. 4 8 1 8 3 and 1. Okay, we did it. All right. I really appreciate the encouragement there, and apologize for the mess ups again. It's one of those things. I've always had a problem with that, and but I hope that what I realize though when I'm doing that is I realize, and this is something that when you mess up, okay, you want to think about what it was that what you were thinking or what you were not doing. Okay, so in my case, what I was doing is, like, for example, on that row 6 where I messed up, or the row 4, what you saw, what I was doing is I was making an assumption about what was missing from the row based on the pencil marks that I had. And then what you think, okay, well, how can I avoid that problem? And the way to avoid the problem is to actually is to start counting. Let's count 1 through 9. Let's make sure we know before we do the thing, because what we're doing is what I'm doing is simply jumping to a conclusion, and I don't have all the facts. And if I just simply count 1 through 9, so let me just verify that I know exactly what's in that row, and then I can do that. And usually that particular problem that I have on a frequent basis is caused by that. Usually because I'm trying to do it in a hurry. Because I really appreciate your patience. This has been normally our webinars go for about an hour, maybe a little bit more. This one's gone for much longer than that, and I really appreciate your patience and the time that you've spent here with me. So here's the deal. What I want to tell you to do though is all of this stuff is part of our Sudoku Week celebration. Everything that we're giving you here this week is all part of Sudoku Week. And we want to do this. This is something that we plan to do every year, is have a celebration and just really just have a lot of fun doing a whole lot of Sudoku in a lot of different ways. So what I want you to do is to enjoy this week and enjoy all that we have for you. Also head down to giveaway. Head over to giveaway.sudokuprofessor.com and sign up for that. Now, tomorrow, since this is a peek into the club, and I apologize for those of you who might have caught the misspelling in my email this morning. I spelled peek, used the wrong peak in there, But anyway, those homonyms, they just get you, Anyway, so in this is a peek into the Sudoku Professors Club. So tomorrow morning, for those of you who are curious, at 11 o'clock, what we're going to do is we're going to do a tour of the club. I'm going to show you the kind of under the hood, what you get when if you were to join the club, and then follow that up. We're going to do a multi-technique master's level puzzle. So right after I do the tour, I'm going to show you this puzzle. It's really awesome. It's at our master's level, but what we're going to do is we get to a stuck point, and then we find these little technique or these significant techniques that make little tiny bits of progress, but they all feed into the final solution, and they're all necessary as we go along. So we're going to show you that. Let's see here. Okay, so Radio Nut 44. That's a really great question. Okay, so when you discover you made an error and you can't recall your past sequence, how do you recover without having to just start over? One of the things that we cover actually this in my Mistake Eliminator mini course that I have, the Mistake Eliminator training. We talk about this because it is actually a very important. It happens to us all. Okay, so. Well, when I do make an error, of course, I have the advantage here because I can press Control Z and undo what I just did. But when I'm working with pencil and paper and I'm actually sitting down and I discover the error, it kind of depends on how far along I am in the puzzle. Okay, so if I am, let's say if I'm not very far into the puzzle and I discover my error, okay, then it's actually what you're saying. It's actually easier to remember what you just did because you haven't done a whole lot, right? So that's one thing. If you're really deep into the puzzle, you really do not know. You may not know what you did to get there. Who knows? I mean, you may have made the error all the way back at the beginning and are just discovering it now here at the end. And there's not much help for that. But what I do is as soon as I discover the error, I think you do have the ability to remember some of what you've done. And you can backtrack a little bit. You can say, okay, I do remember. I just filled that in. I just filled that in. I just filled that in, and so on. Okay, so that's one way. You probably you can't remember. I mean, we talked about this yesterday about memory and the working memory that we have, and we're using, and you really have about 7 chunks of working memory. When you're doing a Sudoku puzzle, you're using working memory. You should look it up and see what it is. But you can remember about 7 chunks of information, and then you fill it up. Okay. So you could probably remember, 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 or more steps that you made, and you can go back and erase that. And you could see if the problem started there. Another thing that I do is I actually put dots in the corners of the spaces that I just did. As soon as I discover my error, I go back and put dots in them and say, wait a minute, let me think about which ones did I do so that I can think, okay, those are the ones do I need to erase those. Okay. Good, Bob. You do that as well. Okay, sounds like you might be doing that as well. So that's one way to do it. If you're really far along and the error happened a long time ago, I mean, there really is erasing and starting over again, starting fresh is possibly a way to do that. And hey, actually, I want to tell you something because tomorrow afternoon I'm going to get on and I'm going to show you our puzzle blank puzzle board that you can actually type and fill out. And I have a couple of different new versions of that board that the blank puzzle board that the club members have access to is basically like a large print, and you can it's a PDF form. You can type in your puzzles. I don't know if any of you all use. How many of you use? I know a lot of you do. You type in the numbers. I'm going to show you how to do that, but we also have 2 new versions. One of them, because if you want to save paper and you don't need the large print, one of them has 2 boards on a piece of paper and the other one has 4 boards on a single piece of paper. And then you can actually type. So what you can do with that is that you could take your puzzle, type it into the blank puzzle board, print it out, and then if you mess up, you can just print another one and start over again. If you really mess up, if you can't go back and recover. So, and again, so tune in for that. That's going to be tomorrow afternoon about 2 o'clock. I think we're going to be doing that. You'll get an email about that. But remember, in the morning, club tour And also, we're going to go into that really cool puzzle that has the multiple master's level techniques to solve right after that. And that's going to be at 11. So tune in for that. We got more things coming out for you. Again, the drawing for the giveaway is going to happen on Saturday. Make sure you attend that as well. And if you have any other questions about the club, like what's included, make sure you tune in. Again, as I'm doing the tour, I can answer any other questions that you have. So I really appreciate your attendance. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining and helping me out and solving this puzzle and all the other puzzles and finding my errors and things like that. There's a lot of pressure here, I must say. Although the pressure doesn't come from you, it's all self-imposed, because I really, really appreciate this is one of the evidence of it is that everybody here in the club is really nice to one another. I mean, that's one thing I really appreciate about all of the club members, is that they're nice and they help each other out. And it's just absolutely awesome. Well, y'all have a great afternoon. And I look forward to it. Thank you again. And we're gonna sign off here, and we'll see you tomorrow.